pipeline's talking to somebody, and yeah, there's a few things going on.
And then there's
What's going on with you, Screwdriver?
weekly check-in.
What is going on, Mr. Paranoid? And yes, the radio man should be here to resume some duties shortly.
I'm trying to make sense of all conversation.
I know, it's the rough part when you hear all of them. I can tell, like, half of them don't hear each other, but yeah, when you hear all of them, it's like, holy crap.
Yeah, tell me about it.
Yeah, now you know how I feel.
You can't hear what's going on, fix it?
Yes, I can.
Oh, okay. You can. Can tonight.
And for some reason on this radio, I think I can even hear Mr. Paranoid.
Too bad you can't make it sound good.
I know it.
Can you hear Mr. Paranoid? Fix it?
I'll miss open anything. All I can do is adjust your noise, not mine. It's from the factory.
Well, that's fixed it. You don't sound very good, that's for sure. Not over here. I can hear him, but I don't sound very good.
Oh, good evening, Mr. Pipeline.
What's going on, Pipeline?
Steel toe waving to you.
Nothing good. Just firing up something different here. Trying something else out for tonight. We'll see how it goes.
Oh, yeah? What you playing on tonight? What are you playing on, Cobra?
I thought someone else. Oh, never mind. 2000 here. I'm trying something else with. Running a preamp with it.
Roger.
Yes, Floyd. Good evening, Floyd, from Mr. Paranoid, over in Waldeboro. All right, yes, sir. 029 Floyd. Nice to hear you from the Mercer Pod.
The 029 Steel Toe waving to you. Good evening.
Alrighty. Going on there, 029 Floyd. Just watching a rain. And listening to the West Coast.
San Jose.
Yeah, I think he's hollering to you.
He ain't hollering for me. Audio.
Pipeline was trying to holler to you there, Screwdriver.
Yeah, everyone. Yeah, there's definitely a lot to unpack in there. Who's running the DDL2?
Hey, good evening out there, 419 in the Buckeye. Sounding good on the central coast of California, my brother. The Western Outlaw, 642 operator an hour and more. I'll tell you what, you doubled with somebody out there, but yeah, everything's going well, my friend. How are you?
Holy 4010 Roger. I just realized what time it is.
See how you are? Waiting on you.
Jesus, Murphy. Yeah, I was just sitting here staring at the wall. I was like, whoa, all right. I guess I better get started here. You guys hearing me all right?
Hearing you just fine. Now stop taking holidays.
Oh, I got bad. I've been going up to camp lately, Fix It. Can't help it. I might do it some more.
Just make sure you sign the proper paperwork next time.
Talking about.
Hey, I filled out the PTO. Prepare the others, because I will not be here. All right. Order, I guess we'll say. There's an order. We're going to get Maine Sidebanders started here tonight. And I figure we'll try something here. And we'll see how it goes here. We have any new check-ins for roll call tonight? Anyone that's never checked into Maine Sidebanders before? Anyone that's new that would like to get in first here? How about it?
How about that Lima 19? Lima 19.
Paranoid, shut up!
How about that roll call station out there? Somebody out there in Skibland hollering.
Yeah, I'm going to try to grab that station Waterboro first. There's a station Waterboro. Go ahead and try it. I think you said Steve?
Caller, Felix. And my name is Steve, Sierra, Tango, Echo, Victor, Echo, and I'm in Waterboro. Over.
Okay, Steve, copy that. So, yeah, this was your first time in the Maine Sidebanders. Copy you're in Waterboro. All right, Steve. Well, you're sounding good. Sounds like you got your radio all dialed in. Sounds like you're on frequency. We got a bunch of people probably listening here. So why don't you give us a quick rundown on your stations, because I'm sure people are kind of wondering. So for those that can hear Steve in Waterboro, go ahead, Steve.
Okay, very good. I'm cheating a little bit. I'm using a Yuzu F2GX10 running 5 watts into an RM Italy KL503. It's about 175 watts. And that's going out into a half-wave serial vertical. I don't know the model number, but I know it's a half-wave vertical antenna. Over.
Okay, Steve. Well, hey, thanks for. I appreciate that. Is there anyone out there who wants to give Steve a quick signal report besides myself? Anyone out there want to give it a shot?
Radio man, we got.
All right, Steve. I could hear him pretty good over here in Wyndham. I didn't have no signal on you, but I could hear you.
Yeah, that's Maniac, right?
Yeah, you got station 881. They call me the Maniac over here in Wyndham, 10-4.
Yeah, we talked the other night. That's why I'm here. You told me about it.
Roger.
Go ahead, Paranoid. I know you wanted to try it. Steve, Paranoid over in Waldoboro is going to give it a shot. See if you can hear him. Go ahead, Paranoid.
Yeah, roger that. Radio man, I got Lima 19 up here in Thomaston. He's a new guy. He'd like to try to check in. Lima 19 from Thomaston. I don't know if you can hear him. We'll have him try here in just a moment.
All right, yeah, sure. You want me to see if I can hear him there, Paranoid?
Yeah, 10-4. See if you can hear Lima 19. Go ahead, Lima 19 from Thomaston. Go ahead and see if you can check in with Radio Man.
Paranoid, I'm not getting anything. I apologize. Anyone else out there here in Lima 19 that could get back to him besides Paranoid?
Yeah, I can copy him in Wales. Lima 19, I think you said this is Cobra. I'm out here in Wales between Sabattis and Litchfield.
UDX Whiskey 777 mobile drive. Roger. UDX Whiskey 777. Nice to hear you out here. Rick, it's Lima 19 from Thomaston.
Sounding good down here in Booth Bay, Rick. Roger that. This is Rascal. I'm pretty sure I'm the one that bought the radio from you there. Oh, it's good. It's in the collection there. All right, yeah, I won't take up much time. A lot of people in there. Good to hear you.
Yeah, Rascal, just relay to Lima 19 to stick around and see who he can hear, and just thank him for stopping by. I can't unfortunately hear him.
You copy that, Lima 19?
19, Whiskey 777, Kentucky Mobile Drive.
Radio man wanted me to relay to you that he hopes you stick around and see if you can hear a bunch of people out in the distance, Roger.
Hopefully when it calms down in 15 minutes, it'll be a little easier.
Okay, hopefully I'm not stepping on anyone. I just want to try to take a moment to let some of the new people get an opportunity to get in there and get a couple like radio checks. Try to change it up a little bit. So thank you to Steve in Waterboro, H2O Borough, not Waldoboro, Waterboro, and Lima 19 and Thomaston. That's a good hike up the coast for me. So I want to thank those guys. So I'm going to try once more. Is there any new stations that never checked into our roll call here in the state of Maine or the state of New Hampshire would like to get in on Maine Sidebanders?
62 in there.
Yeah, I think I heard that, 962. Try that again, 962.
About that 962, you want to try that one more time?
Pretty sure he said 963, Wisconsin.
Did you say Jefferson, Maine? What is Jefferson, Maine, I think you said? Roger. Yeah, you get 269 or just the Paranoid right here in Walterboro. Roger on that. Also go by Bobcat. Okay, that's another one. I'm not sure if you've ever checked in on Maine Sidebanders, but we're doing the check-in on Maine Sidebanders right now. Roger. Radio man, did you hear Bobcat here out of Jefferson?
I did not. Jeez, boy, not usual for me not to be able to hear these guys, but I did not get 921 Bobcat in Jefferson, and I don't know, is there anyone else out there besides Paranoid that's hearing 921 that'd like to do a radio check with him?
Cobra negative.
Really? You're not hearing them?
No, between a 1 and 3 of DX, and maybe when it quiets down in 20 minutes or so, it's a possibility, but as far as right now, no.
I don't know if Tasman's in there. You might be able to hear him.
Hey, Rascal, can you hear Bobcat over there in Jefferson?
He'd have to key up again.
How about your Bobcat? Yeah, I hear you. I can hear you in booth back.
Did you say 536?
All right, well, thank you, Paranoid and Rascal, for helping out there. Any other stations that are new to Maine Sidebanders, state of Maine, anyone in the state of Maine or New Hampshire that's new to Maine Sidebanders that would like to get in for the first time and get a few radio checks, please come now.
Sidebanders, 174, Ohio.
Hey, good evening, 174 Ohio. How you doing? Yeah, we're just taking roll call for Maine Sidebanders for first-time check-ins here. So one more call, Maine Sidebanders. Any stations that are new, never checked in before to our roll call in the state of Maine or the state of New Hampshire, please come now before we move on here to regular roll call. All right, I think we got everyone. Not bad. 3 new people tonight that I've heard. 3 new people. How about any mobile stations? Are there any mobile stations for Maine Sidebanders? Any mobiles out there? State of Maine or state of New Hampshire? Mobile stations that would like to get in, do a couple radio checks before we get into the regular roll call. I did not get who that was. Someone keyed up. I can't tell if something's wrong. There's a signal there, but I'm not copying any good audio.
Yeah, it was broken. I believe he said Nashville, Tennessee.
Okay, that station in Nashville, you got something going on with your audio. We're not able to copy you. One last call for any mobile stations. Mobile stations for Maine Sidebanders. We can do a couple of radio checks with you. State of Maine or state of New Hampshire? All right, we'll move on real quick. We'll try to jump through the roll call here real quick. Just to kind of expedite things here a little bit, I did copy Maniac and Wyndham, who helped out with some radio checks. I got Steve in Waterboro. I got Lima 19 in Thomaston. I got Cobra in Wales. I got Paranoid in Waldoboro. I got Rascal in Booth Bay Harbor. And I got Bobcat in Jefferson. And also we got Screwdriver in New Gloucester, and I've also copied Tasman in Pownell. So let's do this here. How about we're looking for stations? How about why don't we grab Waldo County? How about it, Waldo County for Maine Sidebanders? All right, not hearing anything. How about Knox County for Maine Sidebanders? Knox County.
EQDX 351 Michigan, standing by.
All right, nothing heard. How about Lincoln County? Lincoln County for Maine Sidebanders. Any stations in Lincoln County? Good evening, Novocaine in Waldoboro. Copying you good tonight. Appreciate you stopping by. Sounding good. All right. How about any other stations? Lincoln County. Lincoln County. All right, not hearing anyone else. How about Sagadahoc County? Sagadahoc County for Maine Sidebanders. All right, we got you. Clearwater. Thank you very much, Clearwater. Radio's sounding good tonight. Who else we got for Sagadahoc County?
Steel Toe, Birdham waving.
Hey, Steel Toe, how you doing? I don't know if you were hearing any of those new stations tonight, but anyways, we got you down, Bodenham. Any other, or I don't know, I guess I'll ask you real quick. Were you hearing any of those new guys tonight, Steel Toe?
Yeah, I could hear most of them. I couldn't hear Bobcat, though. That's unusual. Usually I get out over that way, but I don't know. A lot of skip tonight, though, too.
Yeah, copy that. Well, that's part of the reason why we do it. Everyone can kind of check their radios out, see how they're doing locally, and, kind of gives you a good gauge on your station. How about another call for Saginaw County? I think there might be someone else out there.
You got Runt checking in on Bowden.
I figured you'd be out there, Runt, over there in Bowden. Well, good evening. How you doing tonight?
Oh, I'm doing pretty good. Hopefully everybody else out there is.
Yeah, I think so. We'll be done here. If you're going to be around, you want to chit-chat after, I'll be done here shortly. And you got a big signal over here in New Gloucester. All right, we'll try one more for Saginaw County before we move on. I didn't get anybody, so I'm going to jump over to Kennebec County. How about Kennebec County? All right, how about Somerset County? I think I heard Moose out there earlier. How about you, Moose, Somerset County? No, negative copy. All right, how about Franklin County? Franklin County.
Wayne County, Michigan.
I think Mercer, Paul, I guess Lloyd was trying to check in.
Yeah, apologies there, Paranoid. Just a little bit of that skip still hanging out in there, and Floyd's right at that level, so I can't hear Floyd. So thank you for the relay. If you guys copy and you notice I'm not picking them up, feel free to jump in.
Sting in North J, did you get him, Sting in North J?
Yes, I did get Sting. I got a very good signal on Sting in North J, but thank you for the relay there, Paranoid. Anyone else in Franklin County before we move down to Androscoggin? Moving right along here before Cobra goes to bed. Androscoggin County. How about Androscoggin County?
Hawkeye checking in, Androscoggin County. Over.
Ah, Hawkeye. Yeah, Lisbon Falls, the other side of the railroad tracks. Hawkeye, coming down with the gentleman. How you doing, Hawkeye?
Finest kind, top shelf.
All right, who else we got for Androscoggin County? I'm sure there's somebody out there. I think that might have been Skywalker. Skywalker, check your frequency dial. You're a little high on frequency, Skywalker. Yeah, still don't got it, Skywalker. Try again. I think that's you.
I know how serious this disease is, but I also know.
Now, Skywalker, whatever you're adjusting or whoever that is, it's not working. You're still consistently high in frequency. We are on 27.375, 27.375, channel 37, 27.375. Whatever you're doing, it's not adjusting, and I can't tell a damn thing that you're saying. So I'll try once more, then we're going to move on. We'll come back and get you.
There, 27.3750, Skywalker.
Hey, write it right down. Get a Sharpie out and write it right on the table. That way you won't forget. Yeah, you sound good that time. I figured that was you, Skywalker. Are you receiving me okay now, Skywalker? You appear to be on frequency. Uh-oh, I think Skywalker had a crap out. Skywalker, when you come back, just jump in. All right, Maine Sidebanders, Androscoggin County, Androscoggin County.
207 Harlan over here in Minot.
Whoa, there's 207 with his antenna like 20 feet higher. How you doing, 207 in Minot? Are you hearing more people tonight?
Doing good, and I can hear you better now that my antenna's higher.
Okay, 207. Yeah, I'm hearing you better. Yeah, if there's anyone out there who wants to give 207 a quick signal report, go right ahead. 207 bumped his antenna up a little higher for those of you who didn't realize it. So he's doing better over here. If there's anyone out there who wants to try grab him, go ahead and take a second.
PP 505 Maine Sided here in the city of Canton.
That's what you call a pig pile.
I got you at about a 6 over here in Minot.
Hey, Paranoid, you got a good set of ears over there. You hearing 207?
Yeah, I got 5x3 on 207.
Did you copy that, 207?
I still got 5 dB in noise and I can't get rid of, so anybody below that, I can't hear them.
How's this station make it up there?
207 though, I can hear him say that. Anything below 5 dB he can't hear, so. But I can hear him over here in Waldoboro. Give me
Keep standing.
207, you got a copy on 505 Maine, PP 505 Maine, over.
505 copy over here on 207 over here in Minot.
10-4, that's a pretty good trip here. I'm here in the town of Canton.
10-4 on PP 505 again. I hear you up here in Waldoboro.
Yes, 10-4 there, Sting. You always sound great. Yeah, maybe I need to turn down this mic gain a little bit.
Or I need to adjust my
All right. Well, I'm going to do another call for Androscoggin County. Any other stations? And good job there, 207, on getting that antenna up. That made a big difference over here. Any other stations? And like I said, I'll be done here shortly, and I'm trying to get through this. And if you guys want to do some more radio checks after, it'd be great. Androscoggin County, one more try. Skywalker, check your frequency again. You're back up again.
Not sound good.
Yeah, Skywalker, high in frequency, 27.375, 27.375, Skywalker.
I got it.
Hey, you gotta remember, not everybody has a frequency counter.
All right, I'm there, 3750.
All right, Skywalker, lock it in. Break the knob off. All right, how about Oxford County? Oxford County.
955, Southern Indiana.
25 minutes. 25 minutes. You asked me to be quiet for 25 minutes. God damn you. Give me something to bitch about.
Oh, we got Fix It. Okay, anyone else in Oxford County?
Yeah, we're going out there. Thunderbolt in Oxford County.
All right, we're going to jump down to Cumberland County. Cumberland County, how about it?
I hear you, Thunderbolt in Oxford County. Thunderbolt in Oxford County. I hear
We got
you.
Andy over here in Wyndham. What's going on there? This is 639 in West Barron.
All right, Andy, we got you in Wyndham. Good hearing you this week. Haven't heard you in a little while, Andy. Thanks for stopping by. Anyone else in Cumberland County? And I do have you, Screwdriver. Anyone else in Cumberland County? And I have Taz and Maniac as well.
That's right, you know it.
You have one more in West Paris, Oxford County Radio Man trying to get in.
Oh, I apologize. Go ahead, station in West Paris. Go ahead and I'll try see if I can hear him.
Yes, what am I giving you for a signal report, Roger?
You talking to me, Radio Man?
There's too many at once now. I'm getting confused again.
Stanley.
Yeah, to skip in there, it's a little tough. I'm going to charge ahead here. How about York County? York County.
Yeah, this is Steve in Waterboro. I'm in York County, but I signed in already.
Copy that, Steve. Any other stations? We got you, Steve. We're going to grab New Hampshire. We should be done here in a couple minutes. How about York County? York County. One more call. All right, any station, state of New Hampshire. Any station, state of New Hampshire.
Yeah, 2020 sandbagging.
Okay, 2020, we got you sandbagging down in Rochester. Any other stations, state of New Hampshire, for Maine Sidebanders? Any station, state of New Hampshire? Not hearing anyone. You hear anyone in New Hampshire there, Cyclops?
Nope, seems pretty quiet, but if I keep talking for about 3 seconds, I might flash on so it's loud.
Okay, we've gotten through everyone. I'm just going to do one last call. Anyone that didn't get in, anyone, anywhere, state of Maine, anyone, anywhere, state of Maine, anyone in the state of Maine, Maine Sidebanders, we'll do last call before we open it up here to whatever you guys want to do. Talking, radio checks, amps, arguing, whatever you guys want. So anyone that didn't get in that would like to get in.
Open that shit up for some skip land.
Hey, Radio Man, I don't want
How
to
about
talk yet.
Monroe County, Michigan? Ginger Swipe in Auburn.
Okay, we got Ginger Swipe in Auburn. Anyone else, come now with your numbers and location. Numbers and location in Maine. Maine Sidebanders. Any stations in Maine that would like to get in?
You guys are all like Indiana stuck in the bush right there.
Did you get CB505, Radio Man? Did you get CB505? I think you was trying to check in.
Yes, I have Ginger Swipe. So we'll do another call. Any stations in the state of Maine. State of Maine looking to get in on Maine Sidebanders.
Yeah, Swiper here in Auburn, and Hunter's trying to get in there.
Anybody out there in Maine ever talk to that pedal pusher?
Yeah, I got you, Swiper. Apologies, guys. Doing the best I can. I got about 8 stations all keying up at once here. I think I'm going to do one more. I'm going to throw in the towel here. Any stations, Maine Sidebanders, Maine Sidebanders. If you can't get in when the skip dies out here in a minute, we can grab you anytime. But I'll do one last call here, and we're going to throw in the towel on roll call.
Yeah, you didn't get Pipeline and Bumpwood and Thunderbolt and South Paris. You missed them too.
Copy that, fix it. Apologies, I got a lot of skip tonight. So, Thunderbolt and Pipeline. Like I said, lot of skip out there. I can't hear some people tonight if they're below a certain signal level.
Roger, tell me about it. I almost started checking into skip stations, but I'll leave that up to you.
Yeah, we had Hunter here in Wilson, and I believe I heard Space Rider checking in.
Yeah, copy that. I got Hunter in Lewiston and Space Rider, and also in Lewiston, or maybe he's in Auburn. But anyways, he knows where he is. Yeah, like I said, guys, apologies. I got about 10 different stations all calling in from Skipland at the same time, so I can't get everyone here in the state of Maine tonight.
Yeah, I'm trying to 10-5 the guys from down here. Space Rider, you are off channel quite a bit.
USK Radio
Yeah, you need to come down in frequency if you can.
I do hear 420 over here in the East Coast, Mr. Paranoid 269.
0222 North Carolina. It's getting a little better.
Alright, 220, 72 from the northeast corner, Mr. Paranoid.
Hey, radio man, Mr. Paranoid was trying to relay somebody checking in up there too. If I get a chance, I'll have him repeat it. I can maybe relay it to you.
Okay, copy that. All right, hold on a second. Go ahead, Cyclops. Go ahead, Cyclops.
Go ahead, you got 0069 Waterball Maine trying to get to you, radio man. I'll stand by.
Oh God, you gonna cry?
Yeah, 0069 Mobile in Waterboro. We copy you. You probably should be able to hear Steve real good in Waterboro too. Steve, you copy 0069 in the mobile?
Mr. Paranoid relaying for 420 out of
Copy that, Paranoid. 420 in Millinocket. I copied 420 in Millinocket.
Roger, I got a pretty good copy on 420 out of Millinocket tonight. Awesome signal.
You can fucking hear Millinocket?
Paranoid. B2 something or other.
Oh, you copy Waterboro? I'm right here at the post office, Waterboro.
CD 420, radio man. Also, Millinocket.
Yes, I'm not copying him direct, but I did get the relay from Paranoid. Thank you.
Was hearing a Waterboro station in there too.
269, you got a copy at TB 505 Maine, over.
Roger, CP 505. I do got you over here on the mid coast, CP 505. From Canton over to
right? Turn the F down a little bit.
Good copy on you.
Yeah, that's 10-4. I can raise my antenna up a little bit too there. Now we can talk to each other. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, up there.
Roger, I got you 5x5, 5x5 over here on the mid coast.
Sweet, Mr. Paranoid. Nice talking to you. TV 505 Maine Center.
Roger, TV 505. Absolutely. Nice signal over here too. 5x5. That's TV 505. Mr. Paranoid on the mid coast.
I'm just gonna address the chat real quick because I've been busy. It's a little tough with the skip. I got Jay Perlman from Bellingham, Washington. Thank you. Popcorn, how you doing? CT420, hello. And I got Joey LaCroix, New Hampshire, and looks like Jamaica, 6YA 559. Oh boy, the skip tonight. We were trying something new. Just letting the news stations get radio checks in and everything, guys. So I appreciate it. And I better get back because I'm sure people are trying to call me or something. But I just want to address you guys real quick. I can't do the chat and then run the roll call at the same time.
Richard in Plymouth. Richard in Plymouth is trying to check in. Richard in Plymouth is trying to check in, radio man. Can you hear Richard in Plymouth?
No, I'm not hearing him, but I got the relay, Paranoid.
Roger. There you go, Richard in Plymouth. Relayed it down to radio man for you.
Info on the Dick Plymouth.
Okay, we'll do.
I heard that, Novocaine. No.
Richard in Palermo, trying to check in.
Wait a second. Two Richards? A Richard in Plymouth and a Richard in Palermo?
Two dicks? That's like a porn star movie.
I was going to say the same thing.
Just want to confirm, Paranoid. Is there two dicks out there? One in Palermo, one in Plymouth?
Negative. There's only one dick, and that's in Plymouth.
Copy that on the one dick and two balls. Over.
Cancel the porn movie.
Why never?
Screwdriver, you said this was going to die out.
I guess I lied. Fucking last week it was dead. Right at, like, exactly fucking 8 o'clock.
It did die out, but I don't know, it's hammering tonight. We ought to get a couple of them guys in here. Like that guy. About the 4 Buckeye, 881, State of Maine, trying.
Yeah, already checked in.
Standing by.
Hey, you got a state driver 174,
What's going on, Mr. 174? Been a little while since we talked, but good evening, sir. Good evening, sir.
Let's see if we can't get any of them internet followers out there on the channel.
Oh, Joey Cheesecake actually did check in from the internet, too. Watching live.
Yes, I did acknowledge him. I just trying to do the roll call and look at the chat is impossible, so I just go back and check it when I'm done.
Oh, no, I completely get it.
Skywalker, check your frequency.
You must be on a galaxy.
What is so hard to understand about Channel 37?
Skywalker, I'm going to send Swiper over there to hit you over the head with a shovel here in a minute.
Ask that guy if he has an open clarifier.
App shovel will travel.
Oh, things are getting hostile now.
No.
Still got a copy on you.
I'm pretty sure Skywalker's on an Anytone Quad 6, but somehow he keeps ending up on 377, and he needs to be on 375.
Starting away, comments come on, but I think he signed off for busting in the morning.
Yeah, what's going on, Skywalker? I thought you turned that unlocked clarifier off.
Well, I'm on 375 now.
Yeah, he's mobile. What's your location?
Sound better.
On 375 for the fourth time.
Fourth time's the charm.
420 Crown of Maine. I got you 420 Crown of Maine, Mr. Paranoid in Walterboro.
I just can't relax, though. I'm worried that you're going to bump a knob or something and you're going to be off again.
Well, just want to thank everyone that showed up tonight. I know it's a bit of a cluster fudge with the skip and everything, but it's nice to see some new people showing up and some of you guys getting to make some connections. I heard Steve catching up with that other mobile station in Waterboro, so appreciate you guys sticking with it, and everyone just have fun and talk or whatever you guys want to do.
I want to pick a fight.
All right, we got Gonzo down in New Hampshire. Swiper wants to pick a fight.
Fight, fight, fight. Nigger in the white.
Screwdriver. Hey, Screwdriver, 174. 174 Buckeye.
Is that 174 ever stop hollering for Screwdriver?
That's a good question, Paranoid.
I mean, even after he talks to him, does he just keep doing that, or it must be recorded?
It's live. It's not minute.
Roger that, 174, but yeah, Screwdriver hinted you once, 2, 3 times, how many times?
Hey, Cyclops, I got Gonzo. I got him. I know, I switched over to the quad.
All right. I got, you hang on, let's gavel it. So check-ins will come as they go, but new order of motion. I want to stir up some shit. Swiper wants a fight. I want to discuss what did everybody think of that amazing fight there last week.
A row, 2 rows in front of him, and they're filming him behind somebody, and he's like, he looks like he's geeked right out of his mind.
How about that L3? How about the L3? 21 and out. Wait.
Hello.
Skywalker checking in.
Hey, there you go. You didn't bump the knob.
Yeah, you said 37, and then I had to dial in the 273750. So it works.
Sorry about that. Audio dropped out. Should be better now, guys.
37 doesn't usually change, so I don't know. Sometimes you just seem to, you sound great, then you must hit a button.
Yeah, I was on 36 or something. So yeah, I just put the memory in it. Thank you.
How about at 151, New Hampshire, 955, Field.
955? Holy crap, what is going on, Mr. Allen?
Yeah, go ahead for 955.
Are you fucking on TikTok right now? I'm gonna get on TikTok, you motherfucker.
20 your time to get here in southern Indiana. That guy's always on TikTok.
He never stops. I'm gonna have to go see if he's live right now, that prick.
Hey, Maniac.
Hey, go ahead for Maniac.
Well, that station's sounding fine tonight.
Handful, who is this, Casey?
7 dBs right off the bat. Sounding good, bro.
Roger, Roger. Who is that, Casey?
No, it's Skywalker.
Oh, yeah, he's live.
Oh, I sound like Eli Taz.
I think I know what's going on with your radio, Skywalker.
All right, go ahead.
You're on the regular quad 6, right?
Yeah, I turned off my amp too.
I think if you toggle between the frequency and the channel number, you're going to find out that they're not aligned.
No, I usually don't use that, but that's a good call on that. Oops, I'm gonna turn that down. Hold on.
You turn your noise blanker and stuff off?
Yep.
Oh yeah, the toggle. I don't use the toggle much, hardly at all.
So, you know what the frequency button where you can either look at the channel number or the frequency, right? Have you bumped into that getting misaligned?
Yeah, periodically.
How about that screwdriver? How about that screwdriver over there in the state of Maine? 955, core field break.
Mr. 955, I tried to go to the beam. Let's see what happens. Mr. 955, let's see if you can hear me over here in this little radio.
Yeah, I got a chopper in you. Where are you at?
Oh, screwdriver up here in the state of Maine, Mr. 955. We're trying.
Screwdriver? Hey, you're off my TikTok live. Southern Indiana.
Roger, Roger. Just switch over to the beam, but you're definitely working, my friend.
Screwdriver? Yeah, I haven't had much condition. Hey, good evening. Screwdriver 174 Buckeye.
Mr. 174 in the Buckeye, you're definitely making a lot of noise, too. We heard you in there a few times, my friend. Definitely working.
All right, buddy. Take care. Screwdriver 174 Buckeye. We're very quiet.
Roger, Roger.
Hey, screwdriver 420 said howdy, howdy. Yeah,
Oh, you heard me over there? Roger, Roger, Mr. 420. Definitely working up here around the state of Maine. There's a lot of noise in there for us tonight. We just had a bunch of local check-ins there, and there's a lot of local traffic, but we definitely hear you in there. Oh, we heard an Ohio in there too. I think it was a 909. I believe that's what you said. Screwdriver in the state of Maine, waving a hand.
You still in there, Joey Cheesecake, in the chat on Facebook?
You got a copy on 777 Ohio.
All right, I'll be quiet. Some other people rummage this up.
Yeah, I don't know if that answered your question there, Runt, about the frequency dial.
That was Hawkeye talking to you.
Oh, all right. Yeah, Hawkeye. Back to setting the channel on the sideband.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I got it dialed in now.
It just seemed odd that seemed like you had to go to a memory to get on.
Well, yeah, when I do that, then I have to make sure the band is right, which is usually on echo, and then the frequency, dialed it in at 750.
Don't you normally have it on, like, isn't there a normal TV band on that radio, though?
Yes, Cyclops, on the Facebook chat, I agree. It's tough. But we did get some new people that showed up and kind of let them get some radio checks in, so tried to have a little fun with it. But yes, it's tough.
You go to lower sideband right on channel 37, that's where we're at. We're not any place special.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, okay. I follow what you're saying.
When we go down to 26895, you're going to have to go out of that band, but you should be right on channel 37 on the CB band right now. Should be this exact frequency.
Damn. Well, my mode of selection, of course, is sideband.
Yeah, you'll switch your mode, but you're technically still on the same frequency. It's just a different mode of transmitting.
Roger. All right. I was going to ask you something about the watt meter. I bought one online, and I put 100 slug in it, but I don't get 100 reading on it. But yet I switch it on to my little Delta power system, and it shows everything.
So what'd you do, spend a bunch of money on a bird meter?
Well, yeah, I did, and it came with some elements, and yeah, I'm not too happy with the performance of it.
Well, I mean, technically that's the performance of your amp. That's what you're really getting out of it. A bird meter is going to be accurate, but I personally will take a bird meter and throw it in the trash. I shouldn't say that. I love my bird meter. I wouldn't mind buying another one, but you're going to see real power out of it if you don't have a peak kit in it. You're going to see real power, and that's actually what your amp is really doing.
I do have a peak meter in it. I just put one in it last week.
Yeah, I mean, you'll see it swing a whole lot more on peak. You know, on peak, they're stupid numbers. I don't believe them on peak. That's for damn sure. But I mean, I don't know. They're not my favorite meter. We'll put it that way. I wouldn't go spend a lot of money on one myself.
Right. Well, I thought you had one there in the shop in your office.
I do. It's the last thing in line, and I don't use it for anything. I use my regular, my LPs and my dozies are what my main meters are.
Right. Yeah. Dozies and LGs. All right. Maybe I can find somebody that does have a bird meter around and see if the slugs work in theirs.
Yeah, I mean, if you wanted to try it out and see what if the slugs match up. I mean, as long as nobody played with them, they're usually pretty accurate. All I have is a 1,000-watt slug. I don't have anything else over here, but yeah, I mean, they're good meters. People tend to think they're God meters, but most people, if you run a bird meter, you're not going to be impressed with the power you see.
Yeah, of course, I don't go by the videos, but the power source is probably key.
Well, I mean, you're going to see, I mean, granted, depends on the slugs you have, which also makes a big difference. But, you know, they measure what is really called bird watts or RMS watts. I mean, there really is no RMS, but, you know, they are very direct when you're using them with no peak kit. To me, they are very, very accurate. It's the most accurate thing you're going to get. But a lot of people aren't going to like what they see on that meter when they're just running a straight-up bird.
Right. Yeah, that's what I was doing. And I wasn't very impressed. So that's why I thought the slugs were screwed up. So you name the time and day, and I'll be over there with them. I'll just bring them with me.
Roger. Yeah, I mean, like me, I'll dead key 400 watts and backswing to about 250 is what mine shows on a daily basis, like normal.
Yep. I've got the Galaxy's like 150 average, and it doesn't even peg it over 24.
Yeah, I mean, 150 average though, I would doubt it is. You know, I think you had what a 94 was your Galaxy.
Yeah. Well, I mean, an average at least 100, but the back to the peak meter with the 100 slug in it, it only goes to 24 watts.
When you're on peak, it only goes to 24 or on average?
Average. Peak it'll swing way over on the correct dial there.
Yeah, so that's 100% correct. That's what that radio is going to do. That's what it's designed to do. Your difference between average and peak should be 4 times. So, I mean, if you have an average meter and you're swinging 25 watts, if you really, you know, do the math, your peak envelope power should be 4 times that. So it should be 100 watts.
Oh, okay. So it is true.
Yeah, I mean, there's certain things people do inside of radios that you can gain a little bit more, but on average, that is very normal. And, yeah, I mean, like I said, that radio, I don't remember what it has. I think it has 12290 in it, and that's doing exactly what it should do for power.
Right. Has a modulation something or other in it, too. It regulates it, apparently.
Hey, Screwdriver, I hear you out there in the state of Maine on this beat.
Get yourself some dozies, put it on peak, and make you feel like you got a big dick.
Oh, we heard you out there yelling for Screwdriver. Good evening. And, yeah, exactly. You know, peak, like, I'll tell you, everybody talks up bird meters, swiper, then they put the peak kits in there. So you got your BBIs and this and that, and you watch it, and you see them doing 1,000 watts peak and like 100 watts RMS. I'm like, that math does not work for me. My meter, if I put the peak on, I look incredible. Without the peak on, it's not that awesome looking.
Oh yeah, those YouTubers, they're careful about what they show. You know, they know what they're doing as far as how much they show on the meter and how much they key up an audio right away, and they don't show you a dead key of any kind.
Yeah, it's very rare you'll see a dead key on any of them builders. But yeah, no, so it sounds like it's working pretty right, Skywalker. Radio Man could actually probably give you more information on it because he used those meters a lot in the, in the rest of the radio industry. But the other reason why you're not going to see a lot, what slug do you have? What does it say that the frequency range is? 2 to 30 megahertz, or is it the 25 to 60?
25 to 60, and then I have one that came with it. That's the 250 at 2-30 megahertz, and my 500 is the 2 by 30.
Damn, you must have spent all kinds of money. Well, if you want to sell it all, no, I'm just kidding. Well, I'm not kidding. I would buy it all, but yeah, no, they're all work for this range. The one that does the 25 to 60, you might actually pick up some harmonics, but that's the other thing. Like a lot of people, the 2 through 30. You're going to filter out some of those harmonics as something like a dozy meter is going to see. So you actually get a little bit of filtering in there, which some people don't like either because it cuts out like maybe 5 or 10 watts worth of harmonic power.
Roger. Yep, roger on that. Yep, I've heard about that. I've read about it. So, yep, that coincides with what you're saying.
Yeah, if I, my suggestion, not to you, but to anybody who's looking to get a bird meter, if you're going to spend the money on a bird meter and 2 slugs, go buy yourself an LP100. It's going to be the same price. It's digital, auto ranging, good to, depends on the size coupler you order with it, but 10,000 watts. 100% just as accurate and tuned to be the same as a bird meter. You have a pickup on it, and they're so easy to read. You're never gonna mess with anything. If you want to go a little, well, not a little, a lot more expensive, you can go with like the LP 500 or 700. But yeah, I love my 100. That's all I stare at. That and my big meter on my dozy.
Plus the SWR meter right there on demand.
And that shows average and peak at the same time. I believe it's just 2 different lines that are parallel to each other. Is that a plug-in through the 110?
I don't even remember what mine's plugged into. It's got to have some type of a wall wart that came with it that plugs in the wall, because I know it's not coming off my power supply, so it's got to plug in somewhere. I'm not 100% sure. Mine's been on my shelf and plugged in for years and years. I think I've owned that thing for 15 years. I don't remember when I bought it, but it says it every time I turn it on, like 2007, 2002, something like that.
Roger. Yep, and it doesn't throw out any harmonics, I wouldn't think.
No, not at all. I did think about buying one of the bigger ones with the big display on it, but it's just that's a lot of stuff that I will never use. It's a lot of useless stuff, and it looks cool. That's the only reason I want to buy it. It just look cool. But I love the 100. Very there's a lot of shit you can do with it too. But I just use it as a regular just power meter and SWR meter. So at any point, I can tell you without recalibrating, like right now I got a 1.21 match as I talk and swinging, 1,300 peak. I don't think I have it on RMS right now.
So that also does SWR, you said?
Yep, SWR at the same time. You can use it as an antenna analyzer. It'll tell you the resonance of your antenna, the impedance. You can get into a lot of stuff, It has an alarm on it that'll go off if your SWR is too high. You actually have an output that you can wire up to your amp, that if your match is too high, it'll disable your amp. There's definitely a lot of stuff you can do with it.
Right. Well, you got my gears turning. Apparently I have a return until December 15th or something. I don't know how that'll work, but I could probably try that out on eBay.
What's that, the bird?
Yep, and then get one of them LP100.
Where'd you get it from that they have a return?
Shit. Well, I don't have the phone with me. I have to get back with you on that one.
Roger. Yeah, there's a couple places out there that sell them. That's the only reason I asked. So it's probably not just an average, just normal seller, like person to person. It was from like an eBay store.
Man, I had a close call over here.
Oh, did you not make it to the bathroom?
I think I almost blew up my the cellular internet tower.
Oh, no.
I had to turn the amp off.
Oh, really? I like the sounds of this.
Is it smoking, Hawkeye?
Oh, there was no smoke, but it had shut right down, and then when I plugged it in and turned it on, it wasn't doing anything.
Now you're fucking cooking with fire.
Yeah, like you. power supply.
Exactly. That's how you know you're doing it right there.
Wonder how that would mess with that.
That's what I was thinking. I was scratching my head thinking about that. Well, something's going to change, because I know you ain't going to go without an amp.
Well, it's got four internal antennas. I mean, granted, they're for cell frequencies, but there are 4 antennas in the unit.
How close is it to your amp?
Oh, it's like 20 feet away, but it's probably, it's closer to the antenna. And I know it had something to do with the amp, because I would key up and I'd get a notice here on the screen on the computer that the internet connection was lost. And then it would come back, and then I'd key up again, and it would come up, internet connection lost. And then the wife came in and said there was no internet. And I'm like, holy shit, there's no power to it.
You on the same power circuit as that thing, or you know what I mean, for your power supply and all that?
Negative, nope, it's on a whole different branch. I was definitely, normally I'm running between 80 and 100 watts back here, and I noticed that this Quad 6 Pro was pushing that current bill up to 300. So I was cranking tonight power-wise, and that's when I started getting the message.
Yeah, sideband takes more power too.
Fucking bro.
I guess I'm going to have to go back to Spectrum. Fuck.
Oh, I fucking love it.
Video. Does Fidium run their fiber optics by your house yet?
Oh, you said Fidium. I thought you called me an idiot. Oh, Fidium. Yeah, Swiper, they just put it by the house here last summer, so that is an option now.
Yeah, very stable. Much better than Spectrum. Their customer service, not so much, but the internet's stable.
Yeah, I think fiber is definitely the wave of the future, no doubt. Too bad Netflix wasn't using it. I mean, I hate to go back to the fight, but I mean, they had to know the type of numbers that they were going to draw, and I can't believe they just weren't prepared for it.
I mean, they fully knew that it was going to be the most watched televised boxing event ever. Which to now their disgrace, I bet will never happen again with them. But they knew going into this. I mean, come on.
This fight looks so phony, though. I don't think Jake Paul is going to be able to reel people in anymore, because this fight was just so obviously fake. Not that I would ever pay to watch him fight anyway. I don't care who he's fighting.
Oh, exactly. I didn't even hardly know who he was until this whole Tyson thing came up.
He's like a YouTuber, but since he was little kid, he was really faggy when he first came on. I saw some videos of him when he was little, when he first started on YouTube. He's really faggy. I mean, gay as fuck.
I think you need to turn your power up a little bit.
It's all the way up. I'm just not getting on it, I guess.
Yeah, that was better. Yeah, it's crazy when they show like a video of Jake Paul at 16 and Tyson at 16, what they were doing.
Right, I think that might have been the video I saw.
Yeah, Paul was dancing around like a little fairy.
Well, I just turned the frequency and only caught the edge of the mic. Let's talk again. Let's see if it sounds all right.
Yeah, I don't care what anybody says. Tyson held back on that fight big time.
Yeah, you know, and that was all part of that glove biting thing. I had a friend when I grew up in high school used to do the same thing, you know, and it was always under the same circumstances when we were getting hyperactive, and whether it was dirt biking or wrestling or shit, he would always start biting his finger when he was like holding back.
Oh, you even notice the gloves. I mean, them things are like, oh, they look like squishmallows.
It was a pillow fight.
Christ, the women fought harder than they did.
They were awesome.
I was getting so pissed, though, because it seemed like she was so intentionally the headbutting thing, and not like straight-on headbutting, but after she was cut, she intentionally kept rubbing her head against it, trying to keep it open.
Yeah, definitely so.
I didn't see that fight, but I did see the replay of her grinding her head into that cut.
Right, she was warned like 5 times.
Well, apparently it wasn't just that fight, you know. It's happened in previous fights, so.
Yeah, a little trend there, like Tyson's fight.
Well, she is Irish, you know, and they just, they're gritty. They don't lose.
Right. They get the battle. So death do them part. Driver, I got until the 5th of December to return it. You want me to beat a dead horse on that? Bird 43.
Roger. Like I said, they're good meters. Don't get me wrong. They are what a lot of people will say is the golden standard. But they're just, most people are not going to like them. Like I said, I don't use mine. It sits there. It's literally just a barrel connector as far as I'm concerned. You know, I thought about getting 2 more because I wouldn't mind having 3 of them connected in series to do, you know, get a small slug for reflected power, you know, forwards and, you know, peak. You know, like a lot of the big builders do. I wouldn't mind having it just to look at, but I sure in the hell wouldn't go spend $500 on one.
Does the LP 100, I haven't read about it, but does that do reflective power?
I mean, all reflected power is that's going to be your ratio for your SWR. So if you see your SWR, you see your reflected power.
Right. In the opposite direction, though.
Yeah, that's SWR is your power output, your forward divided by your power reflected, or vice versa, whatever the fuck it is. But that's what your SWR is. It's just that ratio.
Right. I copy. Yeah, thank you.
I love my cross needle.
Yeah, cross needle meters are great. You know, cross needle meters, you can see your forward and reflected at the same time, and where they cross, there's going to be a graph underneath them, and that's what your SWR is. You know, my eyesight's not very great anymore, but the cross needle meters work amazing.
I picture that the Bird 43s are more oriented towards bench techs, you know, radio techs.
Roger on that. Yep. I clearly understand that part of it.
I mean, in my book, they're more regulated towards FM transmitters. That's, to me, I don't know, radio, if he's not busy typing, but that's what I gather them for. They're FM transmitters. You know, they're not designed to really have modulation thrown at them. They're utilitarian. Like, they come with cases. They're meant for, like, tech work out on the field. They're rugged. They're heavy. They're utilitarian. You know, they don't look good. I personally hate the looks of them. They don't look good, but they just do what they need to do. It's kind of like a Glock. I don't like the looks of a Glock, but it does what it needs to do.
Roger on the clock.
Are you running your amp now, Skywalker?
I am. It's on low. I don't know if that makes a difference, but yes, I am.
How much power are you going into it with, you know, out of the radio?
Voltage is like 14.2.
No, watts out of your radio. 3 watts, 4 watts. What are you going into the amp with?
I don't know. I haven't measured it. I mean, I put a clamp meter on it, but it doesn't work. The clamp meter doesn't work. So I'm not sure. But I do have a recommended how to use it with a dead key and peek in and all that stuff.
Well, let's simplify this a little bit. On your Quad 6, where's the power knob? What? You know, 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock, where's the power set on your radio, the output?
9 o'clock.
Try turning it all the way, well, try turning it down to 8 o'clock.
Well, it's totally all the way down now.
Much better.
Yeah, I think you were going into the amp a little too hard.
Oh, roger that. Yeah, it has bias and has the sideband on it.
Well, then again, let's just try 10 o'clock, 10 o'clock.
How about that?
Yeah, that's better. You weren't hitting it hard enough.
Right. Yeah, it fluctuated there a little bit, but the fan's still on. It didn't diminish the fan.
Try 11 o'clock.
Hey, what was it, a 2-pill or a 4-pill?
2-pill at 11 o'clock.
Even with a 2-pill, you could probably drive, on sideband, you could drive everything that radio's got into it that you got.
Holy cow, we're talking Quad 6 here, Screwdriver. Calm down over there.
I use this striker for all she's got into my 2-pill.
Oh, shit. Skywalker, 10, 11 o'clock, it cleans your audio right up. It sounds great.
Does sound good.
Are you just saying that because you're on their side? Or am I going to have smoke and mirrors on this side?
No, it sounds good. I'm saving your amp. They want you to hit it with everything you got. I'm more conservative.
I'm with the conservatives there too, Hawk. I appreciate that. I heard them in there. I just gonna turn my head somewhere else. And
How much power are you getting out of that amp right now on sideband? What are you seeing for output power on it?
Let's see, 200, talking into it, you mean?
Yeah, so you're seeing 200 watts out on your meter?
Yes, sir. It kind of fluctuates, of course, because it's sideband, but it's 100 to 200.
On sideband, that amp, you should easily be able to see 300 to 400 without it even sweating.
Well, let's see, 1K. Fuck. I don't even know how to read that one. So, yeah, 100 to 150, 200. Yeah, it kind of swings over to 200 once in a while.
What are you driving that thing with?
A quad 6, rascal.
Ain't rascal.
I thought that was Maniac, but did that have the regular 2879s in it, or the 2879Cs?
2879Cs.
Oh, fuck. That thing's going to be rated for swing, for peak power. You're going to see people driving those to like 600 to 700 watts. So if you see that thing on sideband swing up to 350, 400, that's not even hurting it at all. So you're only driving that thing halfway to what you probably should be. And, yeah, you could definitely go more. It sounds great, so I wouldn't worry about it. You're not going to gain a whole lot more, but you could drive it harder very safely.
Put the power right to her.
What are you driving that thing with?
A quad 6, he said.
A quad 6. Yeah, no, my bad.
Driver. Holy crap, Mr. Eagle, how are you doing?
Oh, doing all right, I guess.
I thought I heard somebody earlier say they had a DX10 that they were driving a 503 or whatever with.
I got a DX10 I'm driving a 703 with.
A DX10?
Yep.
I believe if you talk to I don't know, a couple of guys out of that Yaesu DX10, if you just turn that thing all the way up, it'll probably sound better without the amp.
It'll sound better than without my 703 amp doing 450 watts. I kind of doubt it.
I kind of doubt it, too.
I don't know.
Something that'd be loud.
Deadpool, and just having a couple hundred watts.
How about you, Ron? You still in there?
You yelling for me?
Yeah. Are you driving your K6 into the KL703 tonight?
Yes. I'll tell you, I don't know. In my book, this MOSFET shit, it is useless.
Yes, best thing going. Better than any transistor. You got it.
I can take a 4-pill, 1446 amp, and it will do more than my 703 all day long. So a 503, fuck, that's about as good as a Texas Start 250.
You're right, the MOSFET will run a lot cleaner, cooler, last forever. It'll leave that transistor amp by the wayside for a long time.
Holy fuck, I don't know who you're talking to.
I've burned a bunch of those MOSFETs up.
Than you do. Roger that.
I keyed up with you, buddy.
I was just checking in real quick. I'll be back a little later. Roger that.
Time Roscoe, wow, Regal took you out, but I can tell you about 100 people that have had to replace fucking MOSFETs in those amps. That's all I'm saying. There's a reason why they're like $4 a piece.
I don't know. I ain't had no problems. I know a bunch of people that have them. Everybody swears by them that has them, so I don't know.
I'm not saying they don't work good. I'm telling you, I have this monstrosity of a 703 in my car that dead keys 100 watts and swings to 400. I had my fucking KL 500 in there that has 4 1446s that was dead keying 200 watts, swinging to about 5 all day long. And that's all I'm saying is my little 4-pill 1446 does more power than that 703, hands down.
By the same company.
Now, I'm not going to say it's enough power to be a noticeable difference on the other end. But when I get my 500 back, I am going to do a bench test and show exactly what I have for results here. And I've had 3 703s in here on the bench, and they all do the same exact thing. So like a 503 that has 8 MOSFETs in it, yeah, and I hear Pipeline bitching about his 503 only swings up to 220 watts or so. And that's what they're designed for. That's what they're rated for. So I'm not saying that's a bad thing. That's exactly what it says. But like I said, I've seen Texas Star 250s swing more than a 503 all day long. The 703 is double that size. So the Texas Star 500 is going to swing more than a 703.
Yep, and they get hot and burn up. Yep.
I didn't burn up. Fuck me. I've had my same 500 for 25 fucking years. I don't know if I'd say that. I've never had to pop a pill out of that thing.
I don't know. I've never had good luck with transistor amp. I don't know. To each their own.
It's still a transistor amp. Your MOSFET's still transistor. What do you think they are? And you had 2 2879 sitting right in that radio you're running right now. Every amp ever made has had a BJT transistor in it up until the last, 5 years.
My DX10's got 2 what?
I am gonna the DX10. I still believe the DX10 has 2 2879 transistors in it. That's usually what the PA section is in every HF radio. That's what's in this thing. That's what's in. Some of the new ones will have some 30-volt weird type of transistors in it, but I can tear apart every Kenwood in front of me, every ICOM that I have, and it's going to have 2 2879s in it, most likely Toshibas.
Yeah, I got two Toshiba Red Dots in mine. Anybody interested in buying? I hear they're going for big bucks.
Yeah, they don't make the Toshiba anymore, I guess.
I could understand the ham radio that was 25, 30 years old maybe having them in it, but not something that's like a few months old.
Yes, it does. The X10 has 2879s in it.
Yeah, they're probably not Toshibas.
Yeah, they're probably HG 2879s. There you go. Yeah, I don't know. I haven't looked. Obviously, Taz knows he's got one. Yeah, I haven't looked at the specs, but I know a lot of brand new radios are running the 2879 still.
That's cool.
But you notice that you have 2 2879s in it, which is supposedly a Texas Star 350, which people claim to see 500 watts out of in a competition amp. But you notice you're only going to see about 90 watt swing out of it on sideband and 25 watt carrier on AM, because that's why they last, because they're run within spec. People aren't trying to get 3,000 watts out of an 8-pill.
They limit it. You can only do 100 watts. That's it. They won't let you do any more.
Well, I don't know who teed up under you, Taz, but it might have been Rascal, could have been, I don't know. But, yeah, I mean, it's limited, but they run them within spec. That's why they last.
I really wouldn't have imagined it having 2879s in it. No shit.
Don't get me wrong. I mean, I got a 503 in my truck now, and I love it. It works good. But I do plan on switching it out. I'm going to put my messenger in there, see how that works.
Yeah, I mean, I'll tell you, Swiper, before I actually ran this one for a longevity now, I was all about it, and now I am thoroughly not impressed. That's just me, and I'm not saying I'm not impressed. It does what it needs to do for power, but it just, That KL 500, that 500 that you got, that Frankenstein one, I guarantee smokes that 503. They're like not even close. Enough where it's probably a difference. Going from that 503 to that KL 500 is going to double your power. You're going to see that, half of an S unit, 3 dB difference.
Well, I guarantee you, because the power control knob has been bypassed on that.
Well, you got to get on your audio a little more. That was a little choppy. I didn't quite understand all of it.
Yeah, I'm sure it will, because the power knob on that Frankenstein has been eliminated. It just bypassed.
It's perfect. Yeah, my 503, I think my high power was acting up, which is weird because your high power should be a direct feed. So there was something going wrong on mine. I had to run it on 5 instead of 6.
Burned out the trace.
It would still run, but there must have the heat is up and been some like resistance in it or something, because I was actually getting a bad or a worse match with it. It was kind of odd.
I'll tell you why I like my 703. Like I said, it's a clean amp that runs consistent 450 with my striker, with my Yaesu. Doesn't matter what I put into it, what I put behind it. I wind my striker 60, 80 watts into it. Still does 450. Run this thing 40, 50 watts into it. Still does 450. Never get off. Fans kick up when they need to kick up. I've never had an amp, ever. I've had all the Texas Stars, most of them. Never have I had one that runs as nice as this amp does. I don't care that it only puts out 500 watts. I mean, if I wanted to do more, I'd plug in Donkey. But that thing's a piece of shit. You got to be careful you don't blow that up.
Yeah, I guess. Like I said, it worked. They work fine. I would rather have, I got 2 of them. Well, yeah, they're elsewhere, but the 7503 amp with the 4-pill. If you want a really clean sideband amp, that's the amp to get. Yeah, anyway. Yeah, I mean, like I said, the 703 works fine, but for the size and for what it is, I'm just not impressed, there's definitely more power to be had easily out of amps that are less than half of its size, or a fucking third of its size, for physical size. But yeah, I mean, they do run really smooth. It's a huge heat sink. The fans are real quiet. I got to say, they must not draw a lot, because I've forgot mine on overnight many times and got in the morning and like, what the fuck's that noise? And the fans are running when it's real quiet in the morning. I'm like, fuck me.
Yeah, they are too big for what they do.
I like it. Like I said, it's smoothest running mobile amp I've ever had by far. Way better than any of the Texas Stars I've ever had. That's my opinion.
Actually, I take that back. I think the DX10 is gonna, according to what it's saying, it's a push-pull MOSFET. RD77HU something, whatever, da-da-da-da-da.
I thought that's what I had read, too.
What did you just do, Taz? You kind of sounded a little scratchy or something.
Yeah, I have my phone next to it.
No, Roger.
Hello, radio, North Carolina.
Sound any better right there?
Yeah, I mean, it was just kind of weird. It was just a weird scratchy noise. I don't know. It was odd.
Yeah, I got TV going in the background. Shouldn't be picking it up, though.
I'm pretty sure that Yaesu 990 I had that Steel Toes got now, that was MOSFET driven, too. I don't think that had transistors in it either.
A MOSFET is still a transistor. I don't know where you're getting your nomenclature, but it's a transistor. It's still the same thing. And I probably think you're 100% wrong on that. The 990 or 900?
900, I'm sorry, you're right.
Yeah, I owned one of them years ago. Like I said, you would be thoroughly surprised what 2879s are in. That's all I'm telling you. And I'm telling you, I've run this one that I'm talking on right now day in and day out for 25 years, and I've never had to have the cover off it. I ran Texas Stars for years. The only problem I ever had was with a 500 that I had upside down in the trunk of my car that I overheated so bad it melted the components off the circuit board. I soldered them back on the next day, and that thing just kept on ticking. I have never blown up a 2879 in a Texas Star.
I'm a fan of the 667.
Not a fan of the 667. I've replaced several of them in a 667. I will have to say, I have replaced a lot of transistors in 667s for people.
The good old days.
That's why I'm a little leery about putting that messenger in, because it has a driver pill in it.
I don't think I'd use that messenger with a quad 6. That's just me. Unless you wanted to bypass that driver, that would be, I don't know. It'd be pushing it for me.
I wouldn't recommend it.
What is that, like a 5-pill, that messenger, 1 driving 4?
1 driving 8.
Holy, that's a big one.
Maybe I'll just go back to that 500 to Frankenstein.
Like I said, I mean, this 703 works well, but I put it on meters and I drove it with my Magnum. I drove it with my Striker. That being said, I think it actually might have blown up my fucking 655 Striker. I'm not 100% sure. I haven't pulled the covers off yet, but I've driven it with a few things. I've been running that thing for like a month straight now, every day back and forth to work, and I'm just personally thoroughly unimpressed with it. It does what it needs to do, but I'm just not impressed. I just don't know how much the anytone swing with the power all the way down. I've never run a quad 6, or a quad 5. I've never had an anytone. So I truthfully don't know much about them.
Swiper, why don't you just give that mobile to me? You don't ever use it anyways.
On sideband, it would swing probably up about 20 watts.
I don't know, a 20-watt carrier, and I think it swings, I don't even know, be honest with you.
I heard all 3 of you. And no, I'm not giving you my radio man. My 2050, that thing swing. So I was put the power right to her and on that messenger, and it took it. So, Jesus, it's all the way down, and it's only swinging to 20. I'll take that.
Yeah, I mean, if you turn the power all the way up, it'll swing probably around 60.
That's what I thought, too, yeah, somewhere around there.
It should be double what a 2950 can do, realistically, if you look at what's in it for transistors and the specs.
Yeah, I know it'll do it. It'll do more than the 50, but the way I ran my 50, I would get key a watt and swing 25 watts, and with that modulator in there, that was RMF power.
So they got the NPC mod done to that 2950 or something?
What do they call it? M80? Is that what they called it there, Screwdriver?
Yeah, modulator. Basically, it's still an NPC mod, yep.
Pretty hot on the audio IC, ain't it, Bob, when they do that? Isn't that like taking voltage from your audio IC and driving the collector on your driver or final?
It is. I'm surprised. That thing lasted. It's still going. I'm not a huge fan of them just because I've never had good luck. I got one in a turbo over here that, I don't know, it's never worked properly for me. I'd rather do the classic NPC mod with the 2 diodes and 2 resistors, but, he's got one in, I think, 2 radios. He's got one in like a 2980 and a 70 or a 50, and they fucking both are just hellacious audio when they're on.
It's like there's some radios they don't recommend you do that to. I guess some radios, like the Cobras and stuff, if you do that NPC mod, you can blow the audio IC or the regulator or something pretty easily, I guess.
Well, I mean, a lot of these newer radios that have MOSFETs in them, they blow up because of it. I mean, you know, I've been seeing a ton of radios blow these MOSFETs out of radios. Happens all the time. The same MOSFETs they're using in these amps. I mean, they're no different. They're using an RT1 or an RT5 or a 13 NQ10 or a 520 or a 530, whatever. And those are really finicky. But you get an old school, like, you know, 1969 transistor final in a fucking Cobra or some of the early 50s and stuff, they'll take anything. So instead of those blowing up, yeah, it comes back and it'll take out something else.
Right. Damned if you do, damned if you don't, deal.
You know, speaking of all these MOSFETs and pills and stuff, I just remembered that we converted that 2510 I have to a 455 final.
Yeah, and we never even really peeked it out and did any of the rest of the stuff you can modify. So that thing swings whatever, 35 watts. That thing will fucking last forever with that transistor on the back of it. You can key that thing up as a 24/7 transmitter, and it'll be fine.
I did that years ago. I did that to a 2510 for the 455 final, and I got a conversion for that too.
Yeah, I mean, it's cheaper than a fucking 477.
If you can get the 477s, because I think at the time they were in shortage.
No, you could do the 497, which supposedly had a little more drain current on it, but yeah, you know, I see a bunch of 477s. I actually think I bought a stick of them over here, the Chinese knockoff things, and I don't think I've tried one. I think I had a Jackson that needed a new 477 in it or something, and I've still never put it in. But I said, you know, I have an original one somewhere, but I'm like, I'm going to try these fucking Chinese knockoffs just to see. Like, it was like $4 for 10 of them or some shit. I'm like, they probably suck, but let's see if they work.
Still got the one we took out of that 2510.
Did we take it out because it was blown, or were we just fucking around?
Fucking around.
Roger.
Well, sometimes you gotta learn. That's the way you do it.
That and a 4-pin Cobra plug-in on it.
Yes, I got an Emperor that somebody changed the plug to a 4-pin. You don't see a lot of those anymore. Still see a lot of the 2510s, but you don't see a lot of the 5010 Emperors.
I got one. Don't have a mic for it.
Roger. Well, if you ever want to sell it, let me know.
I got a couple. How many you want?
I got one, actually, that works okay, but yes, I'd like to have a mint one.
I'll tell you what I do have, and I haven't used it. I should just get rid of some shit over here, but I'll tell you what I do have. It's a good trading material, but I have the Emperor, the 5010, with the matching power supply and docking station, so it looks like a base. It all slides into one unit. It's not huge. I can't remember if it has a speaker on it. It almost looks like a Motorola type setup, but it's made by President, and it says Emperor 5010 or something on it.
Yeah, Mr. Ed used to have one. That's fucking cool, dude. That is really cool. That's probably something that's really rare now. That's probably worth pretty good money, honestly.
Roger. Was that a pipeline I heard in there? I know you love those things, too. Holy fuck, $800. That thing's leaving my house with an Emperor in it and a spare one. Yeah, I haven't used it in forever. It's sitting in a fucking Rubbermaid sealed tote up there, doing nothing. And like, it was always cool, and it looks cool, and it still is cool, but I'm like, am I really ever gonna use this thing? There's a lot of shit that I have in my collection where I'm like, when was the last time I pulled these things out and put them on a shelf? I don't know. Yeah, it's not impressive when you think about these newer power supplies doing 30 amps with these little switchers, and that thing is running that radio with a 7 amp power supply all day long.
How about a 457 bass? You got any of them that work, Bob?
I don't. I like the 457s and the 458s, and yeah, I don't think I have really much. I have a few like older realistics or Navajos, but they're beat up, and yeah, I know I don't have any 457s.
I got a 458, and a 449 Mobile, and a 459 bass, but I don't have the 458.
Yeah, I got this weird like push button one that almost has like a telephone pad on it, and I have no idea what the hell it is. I think it was a realistic. It wasn't even Navajo. It was newer, kind of junk, and just some old thing. But anything that I have that was like realistic here is projects, and they weren't anything cool. We'll put it that way. It's pretty much just some spare parts.
Yeah, that's the one that I've got too. The one that looks like a phone. The thing's pretty big. Pretty good sized radio. That's actually a really cool radio. Those are pretty collectible now. I guess they had a lot of problems. It's got like a microprocessor in it. Guess most of them shit the bed from what Wayne tells me. If you find one that's got a good one, they're worth something.
Maybe it's not the same one that I have. Like mine's not really big. It's I don't know what I could compare it to. Probably like a 440. It's not a huge radio. It has a little slant face in it. I think it had like 4 LED lights for the receive on this thing, 40 channel, and I said on the right-hand side it just had a keypad. And I don't remember what the keypad was even for. You know, memory channels were up, like, it had a keypad, and I'm like, well, what the fuck's it really for?
Is it a Cherokee?
Sitting on top of it's the same size diameter as my 2517 Galaxy base. Because it's sitting on top of it, but yeah, it's a lot thinner. But it's got a slant face, all that jazz. I think it's the hell is it, a 459, I believe.
Yeah, I think that's a different model than the one I have. Like that, mine's just this newer little, you know, I don't remember what the hell it is. I wanted to say like a 4, it might have been a 440 or 4, I don't know, fucking. It definitely wasn't anything that looked like it was worth more than like $40 when it was operational, as far as I know.
Yeah, Roger. This one's got the slide levers, it's got sideband and all that jazz in it. I believe it's got an 858 chip too, so it probably could take extras, but the thing's in great shape, so I wouldn't bother.
Oh, yeah, that's definitely not the same radio that I have. This thing's just a piece of shit that doesn't, I guarantee it doesn't have an 858, there's no sliders, so, yeah. I think I know what you're talking about, 459, I believe I've seen them. I don't think I've ever had one.
Yeah, pretty cool radio. Wayne hates
the 457 was, looked kind of like a unit in President Washington or whatever, kind of like my T-Berry. Had a clock and shit in it. Clock set way over to the left. It was red. That has an 850. That's a pretty badass radio, a 457.
It's a 459, the one I've got. 457 was the older style with the 2 meters, and those I think had the 858s in them too. It's Madison, the new version Madison's got the 8719, but I've got the old version that's got an 858 in it with a clock and dual meters.
Yeah, that's like the Washingtons, the original Washingtons with the 2 buttons had the 858 in it, and then the 3 buttons had the 8719.
Right, also the 858 chassis had a 4-pin mic socket, and the 8719s had the 5.
Yeah, that was it. 457, that was the first base rate. I traded an RC car to a kid in my neighborhood for that radio. That had a Silver Eagle D104 on it. My mother threw it in the fucking trash.
Yeah, they're worth a bunch of money now. Everybody likes them because when you key them up, the meters turn red.
I said wherever I went.
That was a badass radio.
Not really. There was a lot of other ones that were better, I think, but they're cool looking, yes.
858 radio, all done up. It's a pretty good radio. They'll do a lot of, I don't know, there's a lot of mods and there's a lot of ways to tune those things right up good. I don't know, I like 858 radio.
Yep, roger. 139 XLR. Pretty much same chassis.
I have, I had a 139 XLR. I got rid of it.
Yeah, roger. I got a brand new one in the box, and I got the 138 XLR mobile to go with it.
I got a 135 XLR.
Yeah, roger. I got one of them too, with extra channel. I know, I'm ridiculous.
Jay, sorry, I was off working on a radio. Jay, looks like that message just came through a couple minutes ago. Let's see, you're on, where you sent? Oh, on YouTube? You got a pen and paper ready? I'll just give you my email. It's my email that I put out publicly, but you got a pen and paper there, Jay Perlman?
It's 23.
I'm watching the chat, so when I get a response from you, I could just type it into the... Oh, I don't think YouTube will let me do it, but you get a pen and paper ready.
Got that 135, and I've got a 138 mobile.
138 or the XLR? The 138 was the 23 channel.
Yeah, I've got a 138. It's just a 138 straight.
Whoops. That's not what I meant to do.
For a mic plug on it.
Yeah, roger. I got a 134 that's like that. It's just got that, like, phono.
Yeah, but you ready to write down my email if I give it to you?
35 base, but it doesn't, I don't know, I can't get it to power up.
Roger. Yeah, huh. Maybe bridge rectifier's bad and power supply or something?
What was that? I got some ground noise just covering you up.
I say
I'm also on Facebook. Oh, looks like you found my emails. I think my email's in my YouTube channel information. I was going to say, I'm on Facebook too. If you look up Freddie Burns on Facebook, you'll see the same avatar that I use for this YouTube channel, Freddie Burns, and you can contact me over there too.
Yeah, so it was the 135. I just happened to be looking on my thing, 135 XLR. It's got the flip clock and sideband and 1 meter and some push buttons on the front and the middle for AM and sideband. And yeah, I was surprised. I pulled it out of the pile. I've never run it, and the thing fucking worked really well. Wicked heavy, though. Speaker on the bottom of the box. It still had the same look as like a 142 and that type of look, but the speaker is on the bottom of the case. But I don't know what's inside of that thing. I picked it up, and that thing weighs probably 3 to 4 times the amount of a 142. It was just heavy.
Oh, it's got a massive power supply transformer in it. That 135, yeah, I got one.
Mine had a stuck meter. I got the meter out of it, but the clock worked, all the lights, everything worked, all the extras worked. Right, the thing puts out like a 6-watt key, and it swings pretty good. It works really good.
All right, no problem. Yeah, I'm working on my Cobra 2000. Probably gonna get ready to shut down and go to bed here in a minute.
I was just surprised. I mean, the 142 has an iron transformer in it, too. Obviously, I've seen the insides of 142s many times, Maniac. But, yeah, I don't know. I went to pick this up. Like a 142, you pick it up one-handed in between, like, 3 fingers, and it's not a big deal. Like, I picked this up, and I was like, what the fuck, you know? I'm like, I had to really grab a hold of it with, 4 fingers and a thumb. Like, it was substantially more. And the only reason I really know that is because I was pulling shit out of the pile for an old radio night a couple Mondays ago. And, I had 142s and 139s and whatever. And I was like, fuck yeah, this was like the 4th one that I tried before it worked.
Wow.
But now I got fucking a bunch of these old base station Cobra radios just spewed all over my fucking floor that don't work, and I don't have a clue why they don't work, because it's not like I write on the sticky notes and put them on it, so I know.
Oh, we're talking parts radios now?
Now?
Oh, fuck, they all seem to be parts radios.
Well, I've changed out 4 capacitors in my Cobra 2000, and so far half of them are bad.
Bad.
Yeah, what are you checking them with?
My actual LCR meter.
Roger. I wanted to get one of those, what the fuck do they call it? They have them that you can check it inside the circuit, but it's not, it doesn't actually check the capacitance, but it checks like the EMR or some shit.
Yeah, the way that I'm checking them, you can actually get it. I forget what it's called, and I think you just said it. You actually, like, for a lack of unscientific terms, you actually like load them down. And the way I'm checking them, it's just a regular LCR meter, and it does give you, it's a good way to test them. But you could have a cap that would test out good, but when you load it down, you actually put it in a circuit, it could actually be bad. But I mean, chances are you pull a cap out of circuit and you measure it, and it's supposed to be like a 10 microfarad, and it's like 0.43 microfarads. It's more than likely it's a bad cap. I mean, I'm pretty, these aren't like coming up like a little shy. Like one of them was leaky. I could actually see it start to charge up, and then it fell on its face. And then the other one, it only went up, like I said, it was supposed to be a 10 micro. Well, I changed out 4 capacitors so far.
And all of them were messed up?
Well, I'm not done yet, but I mean, out of 4 so far, 2 have been bad. So I'm just literally getting started.
I've never really measured a whole lot of electrolytics. They always seem to be a little different the way they load up. I didn't know if there was a different LC meter for them. I do all the regular capacitor discs and shit. But yeah, I mean, definitely when you get them under load, they turn into a different animal.
Yeah, no, I agree. It's just like, I'm hooking them up to my meter, and it's like, yeah, these are definitely bad. Like, they're not marginal, or they're not, like, they're shitting the bed almost instantly. So I'm like, yeah, I'm pretty confident that one of them was in the receiver circuit. The other one is in the power supply circuit that came up bad. But yeah, and then I took apart, I'm re-greasing everything too. And of course I got the shit all over my nose. I got it all over my hands, Of course, I look like a little kid.
Yeah, I've never really thought about, not greasing, but heat sink compound. I've never thought about trying to put more heat sink compound on anything. I don't know, that's never really crossed my mind. I don't know if it's an issue or not, but it just never crosses my mind. What'd you say, Rascal? I heard you key up where his radio man was keying up.
I don't know, I'm stoned. I lost it now. I forgot.
Fuck me.
Take another hit and try again.
There's a whole lot, but I'm not pointed at you. Hold on.
Oh, I am kind of curious, though, radio man, how many caps that what is that radio got in it, like 58 electrolytic caps you're going to change?
Yeah, that sounds about right. Well, a couple people asked me, they're like, well, how many of them are bad? And I said, well, every one I pull out, I'll measure. I said, so I got a pen and paper, and as I pull them out, I'm taking my time with it because, it's my radio and no one's waiting on me. So every one I pull out, I'm writing down on a pen and paper and I'm measuring them. So I'll be sure to let you know what I come up with for results.
Roger, yes, I'm interested. Well, that intrigues me. I was asking you, too, what kind of a desoldering tool you have.
Yeah, Roger, on that, yeah. I've got it turned up about your way. I don't know exactly where I'm at, but anyway, I'm close.
Yeah, no problem. I have an inexpensive, I don't even know how to pronounce it. It's probably Chinese made. It's like a Yuha, and it's one unit, and it's all self-contained, and it's a mechanical solder pump. So it's a soldering iron with a catheter tip. It's got a hole in the tip. So you put it right down on the component. You get the solder liquidus. You pull the trigger. The vacuum pump kicks in. You move the tip around a little bit to vacuum up the solder. And it's all a self-contained unit. And then you flip the switch and you can turn on the pencil iron and you can use a regular soldering pencil tip. I paid like $130 for it. It's nothing crazy, but it's real slick. I mean, you can change a capacitor in a couple seconds.
It's a gun that I bought. It's all adjustable.
It's an old Yaesu FT2000D there. I'm barefoot.
I'm going to buy a solder sucker tool because I've got all these radios, and I believe you're right. Especially my 2000, I want to recap it and re-grease, any of the stuff that surfaces.
Yeah, I got about
whatever.
2 or 3 or 4 of them in there with you, but
I think probably
I
more
can pull you
important to
out,
put
no doubt.
capacitors in it.
All right, bud. Take care. Have a good day. 73.
Yeah, I get it. I mean, I think that it's going to be a radio. It's going to stay in my collection, and I take a lot of pride in it, and I'm just going to sync. I understand that it's controversial about, well, do you need to do that? Do you not? It's my radio, so I'm not really trying to sell anybody on it, and it's part of my hobby. So I mean, I enjoy doing it. I mean, yeah, I swear a lot when I'm doing it, but I'm still having, it's still the most fun I can have with my pants on, if you know what I mean.
Fuck, I think I keyed up with the first half of that. So is yours the 2-in-1 radio, man, or is it 3-in-1? Does it have the heat gun? I know that a lot of the inexpensive stations I was looking at have solder iron and the sucker all in one unit.
It's the 2-in-1. I do want to get a heat gun, but budget and everything. I was like, I'm just gonna get the 2-in-1 now, so I can just have it, and I'll just get the heat gun standalone at a later date. But yeah. No, all I was saying is that, it's going to be my radio. I'm going to take a lot of pride in it, and it's part of my hobby. So I don't mind, like someone might say, well, does that really necessary? I don't know. It's necessary for me. I mean, like while I was sitting here and you guys were talking about, I think, amps, I just stepped over to the workbench and I listened to you guys while I was, changing out caps and, so that's all. I'm going to do it, and it's going to stay with me, so I figure I might as well just do it up.
Well, I would say it was necessary. Caps, and you've already found 2 bad ones. I would call that necessary.
What's awesome is like what you have going on over there, Radio Man, where you have a bench where you can just leave it on. Like, that's always been my biggest thing. I'm like, if you could just have it left apart on a fucking bench for 3 weeks and not have to clear it off or anything else and go putter on it when you need, man, is that fucking convenient.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I have my radio operating position, and then I have my side position where I have my radios that I temporarily hook up. Like, I have my main position, and that I don't fuck with. And then I have my side position to my right, and that's like where I put my stuff that I mess with. And then I have a regular workbench with a bench vise where I can just pound on shit, friggin' lawnmowers and axles and all that other horse shit. And then I got my other little radio workbench, and that's where the Cobra 2000 sits with the soldering iron and all the tools.
I like the updates on the Cobra 2000 on YouTube, but
yeah, I'm going to do, it's a long weekend for me this weekend, so I'll probably do a little video. I'm not going to, do a whole video of me working on it, but I'll do a video showing what I'm doing and kind of showing stuff, because I've been getting people asking me questions, and yeah, I'll do something this weekend. It's, like I said, not this weekend, but next week's a long weekend, so something will be going up here in the next, few days.
Yeah, I tune in those and give you a thumbs up.
Oh, I'm glad you corrected yourself. I was going to have questions.
Well, you know what it is next week because it's such a short week for me. So, but yeah, no, I'll do something, and like I said, I'll show the solder station, and I'll change out a few caps, and you know, whatever, because people have been asking me questions about it. But yeah, it's you know, it's my hobby, and I like, you know, like I said, you guys got going on amps, and I said, well, I just stepped over to the side table there, and I was playing around with it. I said, I'll mess around, change a few out before I go to bed.
I think what you're doing is totally worth it. I think it's a real good idea, and you're kind of intriguing me to do a couple of mine, too. It's just the time, like you said.
Yeah, I'm trying not to rush rascals. Sometimes that's a character flaw of mine. So I'm trying to take my time, and I said, well, you know, there's no rush. I got all kinds of radios I can use. It's not like I don't have a radio, so I'm taking my time. You know, I'm looking at the part before I change it and making a note of the orientation. Is it actually installed correctly from the factory? You know, I pull it out. I pull the part out. I check the value of the old part. Check the value. You know, I'm really just don't give a shit if it takes me a while. Like, I want to get it done, but, you know, I'm trying not to get it done all in one night. You know what I mean?
You mean?
You got all winter.
And it's a Cobra 2000, so it's worth it.
Yeah, the only thing I think I'm going to do is I did talk to Wayne. I don't really have a good suite of test equipment. Like, I have stuff to do it, but it's kind of a hodgepodge, and I kind of have to do some fuckery. You know, I can, like, you know, it's kind of like close enough for government work alignments. And I did talk to Wayne, and I think I'm going to have him align it when I'm done, because I was looking at what he had for equipment, and I said, you know, he's set up to do it. You know, I could do it, and I've done stuff, but I was like, some of it I'm kind of doing it by ear and by feel. So I was like, I think I might just have him do the alignment on it.
Roger. Well, you're more than welcome, Radio Man, to come over here, too. I got a good working CB42 machine. You could realign the whole radio with that. But, yeah, instruction manual for it, how to use it and everything.
Oh, okay, yeah. Yeah, I don't know. That's, maybe someday I'll get some equipment to do some of that stuff on my own, but I shouldn't say that. I have it. It's just, like I said, it's a hodgepodge. So I'd like to, kind of like what Screwdriver is saying, like have it a bench, leave a radio apart. I kind of, like all my stuff's, you know, it's random shit. And I'd like to just set up a bench with all the test equipment. And, you know, but time, it's more of a money thing, you know. I got more ideas than money.
Money?
Yeah, do I know that?
It's like, Christ's sakes, Hawkeye is talking today about getting drift bikes with 102-inch whips on it. And I'm like, God damn it, another good idea.
Yeah.
You getting what?
You know those drifter bikes? It's like a tricycle, and it's got like levers you can pull on it, and you can do like those like quick turns. They call them drift bikes.
Like a kid's big wheel, but they're made for adults.
Yeah, Hawkeye sent me a video, and he goes, oh, wouldn't it be fun if we rode around on these with 102-inch whips?
So are we going to set up like a track somewhere? We just going to all bring them to like the Walmart parking lot?
I'm bringing the mini bike, man.
Yeah. We're just gonna key down on that maniac.
I mean, it sounds like it's fun as hell.
I'm bringing the mini bike.
You ain't gonna have as fun on that thing as you would one of them drift carts. Holy fuck, those things, you only need a small parking lot to play with those.
I only need 10 feet. I flip that thing over and...
Alright, you just scrape the outer rim.
That does look like fun. I've seen them things before. Those look like a shit ton of fun.
Could you imagine those, Rascal, Radio Man, whoever, on like that little Funtown used to have one, and Aquabog had one. Like the little go-kart tracks that they had, the smaller one that was like metal. Could you fucking imagine one of those with all those S-turns and shit in one of them? Oh man, that seems like it'd be fun as shit. What was it, a skid cars or some shit like that?
That would be fun. I do know it.
Yeah, hey Jay, yeah, it says we need Yo Rig up a link into your group chat. I don't know what you said there, Jay, but all right, I'll wait till I get the message from you.
Track was probably the size of my fucking driveway here. It wasn't that big. But man, they were fun as shit.
I don't remember Funtown ever having that stuff.
Yeah, Funtown had one like out towards, it wasn't on the other side where the big track was, or in the middle. It was a little one, and Aquaboggan used to have one in the back right-hand corner also.
I know, I only went one friggin' summer on my motorcycle and I already missed it. I wish I could afford a three-wheeler. I'd like to have a trike.
Hell yeah, now you're talking. Stop buying some radio equipment and you'll have enough money by spring.
Yeah, right. What, 30 grand?
Now, if you go new, you could pick something up for fucking 10 grand used.
You must be talking like a street trike. I thought you were talking like a Honda Big Red.
Red.
Too. I realize they're probably a lot slower. Sure, it takes a lot of the power out of them, you know, driving, you know, three wheels versus two, but I like the old man, the idea when you come to a stop, you ain't even going to put your feet, you know, that's nice.
Yeah, I was with you, Radio Man. The trike, the three-wheeler would be fun. What kind of trike were you saying, Rascal? You got keyed on for the first couple of words. I'm with you with the old man thing. You talking like a Harley trike?
Probably. Those are the cool-looking ones. Although, I saw a Goldwing. There was somebody that had one that was made out of a Goldwing. That was pretty cool-looking.
Yeah, I mean, both of those are going to be pretty pricey, but they're nice. I don't know. I don't like the way they handle. I'd rather get one of those Spiders. Well, I mean, we had one. My wife just sold hers this summer, and you know, I mean, got good money for it. But we were looking at, like, you can pick up one of those Can-Am Rikers. It's a little smaller than a Striker. It's almost like rally sport looking, you know. And fuck, I think they're just about 10 grand brand new, and people are selling them for like 6 grand. Like, it's not a bad option. You know, it's not a full dress with the stereo and all that shit, but I told the wife, like, if you want to get back into one, we can just go buy one of these little fucking things if you ever get to that point where you can ride again.
Oh, you can't ride?
No, she's been having issues last couple. She hadn't driven hers in some years. Been having issues. I drove it when I had my stroke. That's all I could drive for, you know, a few months. But, yeah, no, she's got issues with, you know, I forget what they call the cranial cycle. Something's wrong with her fucking head, either way. But she builds up pressure in her head. She's had a couple of spinal taps and shit. Yeah, it actually has. She's been driving down the road and she loses her eyesight.
Yeah, that'd be scary as shit.
So yeah, sitting on a bike, even being a passenger, like she gets really dizzy, and so she just couldn't ride it anymore. And it's like, man, this thing's sitting here, still worth fucking, you know, whatever, 20 grand. It's like, if we hold on to it, yeah, it's bought and paid for, but yeah, it takes a lot, you know. So we ended up getting rid of it. It was a hard decision, but we got rid of it this year. And I'm like, if you feel good enough to do it again, we'll just get one of the smaller ones. Because we had the bigger one, because she used to, we'd go down to like Laconia and stuff, and we'd put all of the shit in her bike because, you know, nobody else had luggage. You know, I wanted to drive a cool bike, and I didn't want to have saddlebags and put everything on hers. But now we don't go on these long trips. I'm like, all she needs is something to crank into town and fucking go to the Dairy Joy. you know, add that, she just wants to sit on the back and go have a drink or two when we go out. So she won't drive her bike and even have one drink. So she would just soon ride in the back. And our kids, you know, moved out of the house and old. She ain't gonna want to go riding with us. So we just decided it was time.
I don't blame you. Like you said, you might as well get rid of the thing while it's worth something if you're not going to use it. Those are definitely cool machines, though. I wouldn't mind having one of those either. But again, you know, a cool one or a good one, you know, 10 grand or more.
I mean, if you like riding a snowmobile, it's just like, it handles just like a snowmobile. Doesn't handle like a bike, by no means. But a regular trike, fuck, I hate those things. I don't mind the way they look, but, you know, if you're a speed limit kind of person, you're going to be doing 25 and a 25 or 35 and a 35, you know, then they're not too bad. But if you're somebody that wants to race around a little bit, those fucking things are horrible.
Get him with electric reverse on him. You need that.
Freaking right you do. Yeah, they're definitely heavy. You don't want to not have reverse. A little bit of sand when you turn the front tire and it keeps going straight. It pushes forward, you know. I don't know. You know, like I said, if you're just a normal cruiser and you're going to go the speed limit, you know, there's a reason why speed limits are what they are. It's not all because of the fact that there's people there. If it's a 35-mile-an-hour road, it has corners on it that are only rated for 35 miles an hour. Same thing with 45. And, you know, and these things, you don't want to really exceed that going into a corner because they are not amazing. So, yeah, but most people, if you're on a trike, it's probably because, you know, you don't feel as though you can handle a regular bike and the weight and picking it up. And trust me, my knees are getting close. And I'm probably not going to be out there hot rodding it around anymore anyway. On a straight line, they're great, you know. Fucking, you'll have all kinds of fun in a straight line.
Oh, hell yeah.
And straight up chain drive trike on the pavement sucks. You need something with a fucking differential in it.
No, thank you. No, thank you to the shaft drive.
Shaft drive, I actually like shaft drive. I don't have an issue with it, but yeah, you know, it is what it is. Like I said, I mean, it's just it's more for me the feeling of, like I said, it pushes the front end. And, you know, it's not a whole lot different. My Victory with a 300 rear tire does very similar because you really can't lean far enough to get on the sidewall. So it does push through corners. It's, you know, taking rotaries. I mean, you're going slow enough, it's not a huge deal, but yeah, you know, pulling out of a driveway, if there's a little bit of sand at the end, you don't got to worry about falling over, but you're going to be turned and your tire's going to push through the sand and skid until it grabs tar, and then it's going to jerk that direction.
Yeah, my bike was a little bit like that too, that big bike I had. Yep. And then it was, you know, that rear tire, man, you get some sand on it, I could get out in the road and just let the clutch out and give her some gas, and blah, friggin' tap right in the tire.
Don't forget the grass clippings.
Trike style. I snap the clutch and a little throttle and just kind of twist it around sideways for you.
Give her some. Have some fun.
The only ATV I own is a three-wheeler. That's all I've ever owned.
What do we like about Harley, or I don't know, I like belt-driven bikes. I've had a couple, and I've had shaft drive bikes, and those were good too, you know, but man, the belt-driven bikes, they were just smooth. The way they put the power down is just so much more smooth and nice.
I mean, I actually think shaft-driven is smoother and it's cleaner. Well, I mean, belt is obviously pretty clean, chain is not, but shaft-driven is weird because when you give it gas, your rear end rises up. Your bike doesn't squat like it will on chain or belt. You know, just because of the way the motor torques and what it is, it actually forces the back of your bike up and you're tired down. And it is a weird, different feeling for sure. It's not as fluid. It just doesn't feel natural.
Right. And yeah, most of the bikes I had that had a lot of balls anyway that were shaft drive, it would pick the back of the bike up and kind of go to the right a little bit. It would torque to the right some. And I didn't really care for that myself. That other bigger bike, you know, the couple bikes I had that were belt driven, they just kind of squat down and you didn't feel no torque one way or the other. It felt like the bike was stretching out and you were just getting on.
Holy fuck, that's like my sidecar, and every sidecar I've ever driven. Those fucking things are sketchy as fuck.
I bet. I've heard that too.
Well, it's just, you know, you give it gas, and that thing wants to pull you into the left-hand lane, and you let off the gas, and compression breakers wants to put you into the ditch. It just pulls no matter what. And I thought it was the first one I driven, any substantial amount, was my old 71 Shovelhead with a sidecar. You know, I built it myself. I made all the mounts. I didn't know what I was doing. I didn't know how to align it. I just put it on. And I'm like, man, this thing is not really convenient. I'm like, you got to kind of muffle it around. Well, then I drove a Ural, which is 100% designed for it. It's actually two-wheel drive. It's got a drive shaft that goes to the sidecar. But I'm like, that's all they do is they make fucking sidecar bikes. I'm like, this thing's got to be amazing. Way worse. I'm like, fuck this thing, because it's like an opposed twin. So the way the motor works and torques, way worse. And I'm like, well, maybe I wasn't that bad on mine. And then I built a sidecar one for another customer a couple years ago. It was a Harley, but it was a brand new bought sidecar with the kit, went through the instructions and followed exactly to all the specs and the toe in and all this, and it still wasn't amazing. I'm thinking of all of them, my old Shovelhead was probably the best handling of all of them. And I didn't have it right. Like, I pushed the sidecar up. I did it so what looked right in the sidecar. Like, my tires aren't lined up. They aren't what they are. I get it. But I'm like, no, what's going to look the best? I'm like, this thing is drum brakes front and rear. Mechanical fucking front drum brakes. They're not even hydraulic. So I'm like, this thing's going to be sketchy as shit anyway. So I wasn't worried about how well it handled. I just wanted it to look cool.
I know. And Woolwich has got one, an old Harley with a sidecar on. He rides that thing around quite often, actually, all over the place. Seven works with him at Aspen Tree, old Bob. But yeah, he's a pretty cool guy. And he every time I see him, jump in there. He wants me to get in that sidecar. It's like, fuck, I will not.
All right, guys, I'm going to shut it down and call it a night.
Night.
Shut it down. We'll catch you in the morning.
Later. See you guys.
You guys. Have a good evening.
Yeah, the sidecar thing, like, there's so many variables with them, so it's just weird. Do you have somebody in it? Do you not? Do you set it up to be empty? Do you